Alright, we are here once again in the land of Miscellania. Starting up the quest Royal Trouble here. And we are going to be facing another big boy monster here, a giant sea snake. Although I did look it up, and it did say the level looked a bit more intimidating than the actual creature was. But we'll see. We came a little bit prepared, either way, with some potions and food. I also got some grimy toad flax just from doing a little random event just a second ago. So, without further ado, let's begin. Greetings, Your Royal Highness. Has anything been happening in the kingdom recently? Interesting that you should ask, Your Royal Highness. You see, the people are worried that war will break out again. King Vargas has found himself with little to do now that you are the Regent. He intended at first to return to adventuring. Unfortunately, we will have not had the doors to the throne room enlarged so that he can leave. We still have not done that. So, what has he been doing? He has been trying to rule once more in your absence. However, he has once again quarreled with the Queen of Etcetria. The two of them have been writing letters to each other, threatening to raise armies and declare war on each other once more. I see. Your Royal Highness, I suggest that you deal with this matter and reconcile the two of them again. Such a quarrel is not good for Miscellania. Okay. Very well. I'll sort it out. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. I suggest you talk to the Prince and Princess to find out more about the situation. Princess Astrid has been asking after you. She would very much like to see you once again. Alright. A second here. Okay. Let's talk to the princess, our wife, or at least wife to be here. Still hasn't been a marriage ceremony in the little gap here. But, let's see what she has to say. Hello, darling. Welcome back, my dear. I'm afraid I haven't managed to find a priest for our marriage yet. That's a pity. Oh, Advisor Grimm said I should talk to you and the prince about recent events in the kingdom. I'll ask Father if he minds us discussing this in the throne room for a while. Cussing time. Advisor Grimm told me to talk to you about the situation. What has happened? Well, it's terrible, my darling. My father's been arguing with the Queen Cetri and has managed to start a war again. It's awful that your work has been undone by such an accident. What do you mean, accident? Well, if my father had something to occupy him, he wouldn't have gotten bored. What would he suggest he do then? We can't have him declaring war all the time, even if it would give us a chance to show off our military might. And I could finally show him that archery isn't a cowardly skill if only we had an army. We'll prove ourselves against Astrid. I have a better idea. Better than archery? What is it? I think we should persuade our father and Queen Sigrid to marry. What are you talking about, Brand? Think of the poetic irony in this situation. The best part is that I could write the wedding hymn for them. Today is a happy day. We are getting married. Our national anthems are wonderful. Won't you sing this song? I'm not sure that's a good idea. I think it'll work. I quite agree. Perhaps it's an odd idea, my darling, but since we don't have an army, we can hardly declare war. Are you sure it'll work? I trust my brother's judgment. Though this idea may seem at times a little strange, what is... I'm just telling darling about your poetic accomplishment. Oh, that's right. So will you talk to our father and see Queen for then? I'm sure you can manage to arrange it all. I'll give it a try, but then I'll be angry with each other, so I don't think it'll work. I'm sure you'll manage to do it, darling. Oh, whew. That was way too fast for me to read. I tried my darndest, though. You can slow it down if you need to. Alright. Talking to King Vargas. Your Majesty. What is it? You'll have to excuse me. I'm quite busy. What are you busy with, Your Majesty? Affairs of state, and so on. I thought I was supposed to deal with those once you appointed me regent. Well, there's not all that much for me to do these days, you see. And though you do make a fine regent, you cannot be here all the time. So you're still helping to rule, Your Majesty? In a matter of speaking. These affairs of state you're dealing with, would these involve starting a war with Queen Sigrid of Etcetera? Not exactly. Well, yes, of course. Sigrid was the one who insulted me first. And that's the least of the kingdom's problems at this moment. Some of Frodi's barrels are missing, as are many of Magnus's crates. Leif. Let's do Leif. Leif also says he'd had stacks of wood disappear. Since you're the regent, you should investigate what has happened to these missing resources. Right away, Your Majesty. I'm glad to see the kingdom in such capable hands. All you need to do for the moment is talk to the citizens of Miscellania and find out what has been happening. It might also be useful to interrogate the citizens of Etcetera to see what they know. Alright, we're going to talk to a gardener outside the castle. Let's go downstairs and find this gardener here. Alright, here she is, I think. Yes, it is a she. Gunhild. Let's examine Gardener Gunhild. She's looking a bit weedy, whatever that may mean. Good day, Your Royal Highness. King Vargas tells me that things have been going missing from the kingdom. Can you tell me anything about this? You mean you hadn't heard, Your Royal Highness? Etceterian soldiers came and demanded tithes from us. You're the only person we give any of our goods to, so we refused, and found the next day that some of our goods had been stolen. Ooh. Alright, we're going to be talking to the Queen, which is over that way, so I'll be back. Your Majesty, do you have a moment? Incompetent. I'll give him incompetent. Yes, what is it? I hear from King Vargas that relations between Etcetera and Miscellania are none too cordial at the moment. Of course not. That idiot Vargas decided to take a hand in ruling Miscellania, even though he'd handed it over to you, and now he's declared war on Etcetera again. I suppose all those insults I made about his parentage can't have helped the matter. Even so, that doesn't excuse what he did to my citizens. What happened, Your Majesty? My citizens have told me that items of theirs had been taken, and I'm sure that Vargas is behind it. Since you're the one who's supposed to be ruling Miscellania, you should sort it out. Of course, it's my duty. Good, good. If you could talk to the citizens of Etcetera, they will tell you exactly what happened. I would find out for myself, but the pressures of ruling are immense, and I would never have the time free. Alright, let's go find out some information. Talking to Matilda in the south of the castle, right out here. Let's examine her. She's a subject of etc. Alright. Excuse me. Yes? Queen Sigrid tells me that things have been going missing from the kingdom. Can you tell me anything about this? You haven't heard about that until now? I'm surprised. Well, Miscellanian soldiers came and asked for tribute. When I told them to leave, they came back the next day and stole my hat. It was a wonderful hat. Mithril reinforced, you see, and with a special split-bark brim to keep the sun off. Could you please get it back for me? I'll see what I can do. Alright. Going to be going back to King Vargas here. So, once again, I'll be back. Okay, I have returned. I ended up getting a stamina potion. Backtracking a bit to get that because I'm gonna be running quite a bit, it seems. Once again. Oh wait, hold on. I just noticed this. It's a broken table and smashed chair. At one time it was for putting things on, and not so good for sitting on. Wonder what happened there. Have you spoken to the citizens yet, darling? I've spoken to the Miscellanean citizens, and also the Etsetarians. What did they say? The Miscellanean citizens said the Etsetarian army marched into their fields and demanded tithes. What? I see. Sigrid thinks that now I've recognized Etseteria as a sovereign nation. I'll just roll over and play dead when she tries to invade, does she? And the Etsetrian citizens said that Miscellanean soldiers came to their houses and demanded tribute. And she's even started spreading rumors among her own citizens. Are there no depths to which she won't sink? Your Majesty, lying to her own people about there being Miscellanean soldiers, we don't even have an army. Which makes it all the worse, as otherwise I'd be able to invade Etsetria to save the citizens from Sigrid's depravity. I'm not sure that would work very well, Your Majesty. Perhaps not, darling. In any case, if there are any Miscellanean soldiers, they must have come from somewhere. Ask Advisor Grimm if he knows who they might be, or where they might have come from. He's a capable advisor, so I'm sure he'll know about any suspicious people. I'll do that, Your Majesty. Things are getting tense. Greetings, Your Royal Highness. King Vargas asked me to talk to you. He said you might know more about the missing goods. I'm not sure what you're implying, Your Highness. What you could advise me where to look for them? Ah, of course. Assuming that nobody presently living in Miscellania would have taken them, it is of course likely that someone from outside took them. The sailor who brought you here from mainland would be the first to see any suspicious visitors. I suggest you ask him about recent arrivals to the island. I did not take a boat, however, see if we find him out there. Going to the Miscellanean docks, which are going to be, I think they might, where are they? Oh, okay, they're over here. Well, I guess I'll cut here. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. We got a sailor here that we're gonna examine. He's strong to the finish because he eats cabbage. He's drawn to the village because he eats cabbage. Alright. I'm looking for a sailor. You found one here. How can I help you? The king's advisor said I should talk to you. He said there have been some suspicious people arriving recently. Well, I don't know of any suspicious people. Advisor Grimm can be rather paranoid about these things sometimes. Oh, has anyone visited the island recently then? Nobody apart from you and those kids from Relica. What kids from Relica? 5 of them came over here a few weeks ago. They said they were here to see relatives in the dungeons. They were visiting from the mainland. I didn't realize the king kept people in his dungeons. I didn't know Miscellania even had dungeons. They've not been used to keep prisoners for a long time, but since the war ended, we've had more people visiting the island. Some of them decided they wanted to stay, so we've had to find somewhere for them to live. Only the weather on Miscellania is terrible. Nobody could build houses that would stand up to a strong wind. Etc. is just the same. So you decided to live in the dungeons instead? Well, of course. They had to be enlarged first. There are still some dwarves working there, making more of the dungeons inhabitable before they move over to work in Cetria. If you're looking for those kids from Relica, you'll find them in those dungeons. Why are you surprised about this, though? I thought you'd become a regent. I'm still an adventurer, and I can't be everywhere in Gilnar. Okay. I'm going to return to the king, so I'll see you in a bit. Alright, back at King Vargas here. Guess we're gonna get a scroll of some sorts. Your Majesty, how do I get into the dungeons? The dungeons? Of course! How could I have forgotten? I'm surprised I didn't tell you when you were appointed regent. It's okay, the sailor explained it to me. He said that the only new arrivals on the island were some teenagers who came from Relica to visit their relatives. Those relatives were living in the houses in the dungeons. Ah, so you wish to look in the dungeons in case these new arrivals are to blame. I doubt that anyone with Miscellanean relatives would be at fault. However, there is something I need you to do in the dungeons. They are still being excavated, and the Dwarven architects are finding new caves as they go. There have been reports of odd sightings in these new caves. Perhaps they are monsters, waiting to devour unwary Miscellaneans. Whatever they are, I want you to look into it. You are a member of the royal family after all, so I know I can rely on your help. Of course, Your Majesty. The guard by the dungeon entrance may not recognize you, since he was only hired recently. Here, take this scroll to show that you have access to the dungeons. You'll find the entrance by the southeast corner of the palace. Alright, new thing to examine here, or we can read it as well. Let's see. An official looking scroll, we're gonna read it quick. I, King Vargas, proclaim that the bearer of this scroll is the Regent of Miscellania. There we go. Short and simple, to the point. Ah, here's a little ladder here. What's down there? Let's find out. Sorry, sir. Nobody's allowed down there by order of the king. But I'm the regent. I order you to let me go down there. You're the Regent? Well, I didn't vote for you. Sorry, Mr. Regent. Nobody can go into the dungeons without the king's say-so. Look, the king gave me a scroll saying I have access to the dungeons. I have it right here. Let's have a look then. There you go. All seems to be in order. Alright, Your Highness. You're free to go down there. Try not to be eaten by monsters. Ooh, land down under. No track we unlocked here. What we got? We got some people living down here. Some dwarves and some citizens of Relica, it looks like. Yep. The door is right here, pretty well disguised. We're gonna be talking to Donald. A rather scared-looking dwarf. He doesn't seem all that drunk. What do you want? What are you doing down in these caves? I'm waiting to work on the excavations. Though, I don't really want to start digging again. Why not? I thought digging was something dwarves were good at. Not with monsters like that, one in those caves. It had huge teeth and flaming red eyes, and was almost the size of the tunnel. If it attacks the town. Are you an adventurer by any chance? Adventurer and Regent of Miscellania. In that case, could you go and deal with the monster? I don't want to have to face it again if it attacks the town. Of course, dealing with monsters is what I do best. You'll need to get into that other cave first, of course. There's a crack in the wall. There's a crack. There's a kraken. Sorry. There's a crack in the wall where the others are digging, but the rocks are loose and can fall on you if you're not careful. I can give you a mining prop to keep them from falling, if you give me a minute to find it. Okay, so all I have to do is get through that wall. No. After that, the only way you can get further is climbing up onto a high ledge, then crawling through a tunnel. But the walls are slippery, and I think I might have broken the lift when I fell off it on my way back. You'll probably need to fix the lift. I doubt you'd be able to climb. And the monster's behind that tunnel. Somewhere behind it. I couldn't get very far, what with the flooding and the tunnel. There's some rope, some planks near the broken lift. Those would probably come in handy. Ah, here's the mining prop. I knew I had it somewhere. Here you go. Good luck fighting that monster. Alright. Got a little mining prop here. Let's examine it. Rather, oh, hold on. A prop for holding up a tunnel roof. Cool. Okay, we're gonna go to the northwest corner over here and use the mining prop on this little crevice here. A few rocks short of a wall, very crevice-like. You wedge the prop in the wall to stop the rocks from falling. Alright. Squeeze through here. And now we're going to take a pulley beam. Examine the crate first. A crate of AMCE pulley beams in a box. I'm guessing that's a play off of Acme. Right. You reach into the crate and pull out a beam with a pulley on it. A beam with a pulley attached is the description here. I'm going to examine this here. It's the this scaffold needs repairing. We have the pulley beam. It looks more stable after we add the plank to the scaffold as a crossbeam. Alright, we're gonna take another one. Okay, this is a different crate. It's the beams in a box again. You reach into the crate and pull out a beam. Okay. It's a wooden beam. Alright, we're gonna use a beam on a pulley beam. Use them together and get me a long pulley beam, which is a long beam with pulley attached. After we attach the beams together to form a longer beam. Taking another beam, we're making it even longer. Looks like a longer pulley beam. A very long beam. Oops. Didn't mean to mind that. I'm going to use it on the scaffold here. Oh, it looks like a gallows now. Goodness. Take a pulley here. Use this here. There we go. Alright, we're gonna get a examine this real quick. It's ropes in a box this time. Okay. Using the rope. Okay. Wow, we're taking another beam and using the beam over here on the platform. Now pick up the engine. I'm gonna examine it first. It's a dwarf-made coal engine. It looks very sturdy. I wonder how much it weighs. It only weighs 1 kilogram. Okay, we're gonna ready the nearby lift manual. Read the nearby lift manual. Not bad. So let's read this. Okay, I don't think I'm going to read through all this, so you can pause as you wish. Oh, it's not too long. Let's read through it here. Troubleshooting your AM key lift in a box. My lift doesn't work. 1. Have you added the pulleys? Make sure you have a long top beam with the pulley and pulleys on the 2 cross beams. We recommend AM key pulley beams in a box. 2. Have you attached a rope? Wind one of your AMC, yeah, we'll just keep calling it AMC, ropes in a box, 3 of the pulleys. 3. Is the platform broken? Repair it with one of your AMC beams in a box. 4. Have you added the engine? The AMC lift in the box does not include an engine. 5. Have you added coal to the engine? All compatible coal engines have a maximum load of 5 chunks of coal. AMC lift in a box, pulley beams in a box, beams in a box, and ropes in a box are all registered trademarks of Ali Morsain Commercial Enterprises. Oh, okay, so that's what it stands for. Ali Morsain Commercial Enterprises Limited. Okay, so we're going to use the coal on the engine. Okay. Use all of the coal. Okay, gonna examine the engine once again. It looks very sturdy. Okay, same examine. We're gonna use the engine on the engine platform. Look at that. Take a rope. Using... Oh, hold on. I'm gonna take the lift up. Picking up the plank. And entering the tunnel here. Okay. Let's delve further into the tunnel. I'm going to use a rope on the rock over the water blocking the path. Okay. So, use a rope up here on the rock. And we're going to swing across. Some decent agility, so that wasn't too difficult. Oop, I can see the embers of fire up ahead. Has someone else been in these caves? recently extinguished fire. Hold on, let me do some other narration here. I went up, I squeezed through the small hole in the wall, and threw a rope up and lashed it around the rock formation. Okay. Searching the fire remains, we found a burnt diary. Let's see. Take a quick look. Alright. Property of Armand Dunstan. Read at your peril. Spooky. If you steal this book, my dad will beat you up. Oh. Oh no, his dad's gonna beat me up. Alright, we're gonna use the plank to cross. A couple more sections here. And one more. We place the board across the slippery rocks and quickly walk over. Alright, we're gonna search the second one here. You find some diary pages in the embers. You add them to the diary you have. Let's see. Sure, I'll read through this. Year 3 of trials, day 20. We're doing really badly at the trials. Bygarth broke his lyre for the 5th time. Hild got lost in the maze again. And Rhine and Signy were both sick all over Manny. When are we going to finish these trials and become adults? My father keeps telling me to improve, saying that I should try harder to become a proper frenetic adult. Year 4 of trials, day 144. The trials aren't going well. I broke my arm while fighting a cow, and Bygarth almost fell into the furnace. Luckily, my father saved him and Signy from spilling molten iron all over the adults. Ascaladen's already become an adult and he keeps making fun of us. He really annoys me. Alright. We're uncovering a little story here. Alright. Adding them to the diary we have, it looks like. Year 5 of trials. Day 78. Wow, it's taken them 5 years, I guess. It's not fair. Father said that me and my friends might never pass our trials. They don't want us helping other people with their trials either. And now he says we can't. We have to read Relica. How can they exile us? What are these? Some steam vents. There's nothing coming out at the moment. What about this one? Steam is coming out of this hole. Alright. Let's continue reading here. On year 5. Year 5, hold on, how much? Yeah, that's not too much, hold on. Let's read through it. Year 5 of Trials, day 89. Signy said she'd heard about 2 island kingdoms that had been at war for hundreds of years. If we go there and make peace, will my father finally agree that we're true Feminic adults? Year 5 of Trials, day 93. Life's not fair. We got to the island kingdoms and they said an adventurer had recently made peace by promising to marry the daughter of the king. Why does this always happen to us? If we'd just been a little earlier, I could have married the king's daughter. Year 5 of Trials, day 95. Bygarth says that just because they're at peace now doesn't mean they always will be. He says he has a plan. Ooh. Things are getting hairy here. Year 5 of Trials, day 95. Bygarth's plan is great. Now all we have to do is find the right armor and a place in one of the caves. Father's going to be so impressed with me. Looks like we've found our thieves. Let's finish this story here. Year 5 of Trials, Day 98. The plans worked. The kingdoms are at war again, and no one knows we were the soldiers. All we need to do is make peace, and the council at home will be so impressed that they'll make us adults right away. Year 5 of Trials, Day 99. Why did it go so wrong? We were just about to get the goods back, but there are monsters in there. I'm not going anywhere near that giant snake, and I think the others agree with me. We're cold and hungry and can't go back to the town because we got drunk in the inn and then couldn't pay. It's so bad that we've had to burn bits of my diary to keep warm. Someone please help us. Probably the end of the diary there. Alright. What do we do now? If you hadn't gotten drunk in the inn, Signy, we could have stayed there for longer. It was just me who got drunk. You looked like you were about to puke all over the barmaid. Mine threw up anyway. I can't help it. I just got a weak stomach. You're no better, Phil. You said... Now look at us. We're cold, we're hungry, and now we're lost. We wouldn't have been so cold if these diary pages... Hey, I have to write what happened. Otherwise, Father won't believe me when I talk. If our father listened, he'd say you wouldn't be here. We'd have passed the trials and we'd be proper adults. Besides, not like him would look for rubbish, your diary. If only Father would come and save us. If only someone would come and save us. Someone's coming. Quick, let's hide. What if monsters again? What if it's one of the townspeople? What if its fathers found out what we've been doing? Hey, where am I going to hide? Just pretend you're part of the scenery or something. You're almost smart enough to take a rock. Just like normal, Arnold, and hurry. Okay. Hello there. Don't bother me. Sorry. I said don't bother me. I'm being Rock at the moment. You can't be Rock. I heard you talking to people earlier. What did you hear? Your name's Armad, isn't it? I took it back. What? How did you get it? Give it back. Not until you tell me what's going on. Why should I tell you? We're not going to, Father, that we're true adults. What the? Did you read my diary? Yes, all of it. What are you even doing in the caves anyway? Everyone else is scared to come down here. Well, I'm a regent of the Miscellania. The king asked me to take a look. You're regent? You four, I think we'd better come out now. We're in big trouble. Nice impression of Rock you did there, Armad. So you're the adventurer we heard about, then? The one that married the princess? Yes, that's me. And you five are the people mentioned in Armad's diary, right? Armad, you should have burnt it all. Did you steal those goods from the Etzetarians and the Miscellanians? It's Bayar's idea, not mine. He said that if we disguised ourselves as soldiers, we could convince both the king and queen that they were under attack, and it almost worked too. It would have worked if it hadn't been for that meddling kid. I mean, the huge snake. What huge snake? We put the things we'd taken somewhere safe, so we could get them back when we made peace again. Everything was going well until we go back to that place, and a giant snake had moved in. It's made a nest out of all the boxes and barrels. I don't care about the plan. If you can get rid of that sea snake, we'll be really grateful to you. We can't even get out of these dungeons while it's there. I agree with him. I want to go back home. It's cold here. We've got no food, and we can't go back to the town. Not after we got drunk and then didn't pay our bill. So, will you get rid of the sea snake? Of course. I was going to do that anyway. Thank you so much. You've saved us from the brink of death. Could I ask you for one more thing? What is it? Please, don't tell my father how badly we messed up. Oh! Voice acting is tiring work, my friends. Alright. We prepare for the snake fight. Okay. He has the ability to poison us, but that shouldn't be any concern here. What do we have here? The sea snake hatchling. A baby sea snake? I might get poisoned by these guys. Unless they're non-hostile. Very nice. Okay. There's a little spotlight here. Should we stand in the spotlight and do a little dance, maybe? There we go. A dance of power. And a little headbang to finish off here. There we go. Now we're prepared for the sea snake. Alrighty. Get the prayer book open here. Okay. I'll pop our anti-poison here. Examine this giant sea snake. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. Alright. Look at that. The spoils of war here. What do we got? A heavy box, big bones, and some golden coins. Bury the bones here. Examine the heavy box. A box full of stolen Cetrian items. We're not going to dawdle too much around here. Let's just get out of here. Hello down there. Are you alright? Who's that? I'm up here, above this hole. I've thrown down a rope. You sounded like you were trapped in there. Right. Examine the rope here. I can see the surface. There we go. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Alright, we're going to talk to the Queen in Etcetria Castle. This heavy box weighs only 0.01 kilograms. It's pretty accurate. Okay. I've talked to the Miscellanian citizens as well as the Etcetrians. What exactly happened? The Etcetrian citizens said the Miscellanian soldiers came to their houses and demanded tribute. Just as I suspected, Vargas, you treacherous snake. And the Miscellanian citizens said the Etcetrian army marched into their fields and demanded tithes. What? Now I see his plans. Vargas isn't content with simply arguing. He wants to start a war even if it means swindling his own citizens. Your Majesty, Etcetrian army? There hasn't been one for centuries. These Miscellanian soldiers of his must have disguised themselves. If I may, if he wants an Etcetrian army, then we'll have to raise one. Your Majesty! What is it? I've found out what caused all these problems. A group of teenagers from Relica came to Etcetera to prove themselves as adults. They said they'd try to start a war, which they'd then stop and be hailed as peacemakers. They were the ones who disguised themselves as soldiers. That explains what the citizens said about armies, I suppose. But what about the items that went missing? Well, there was a minor problem involving a sea snake, but I dealt with it and got the items back. Finally, a ruler of Miscellania who's willing to do something for his neighbors. Do you have the items with you? Yes, I have them here. Thank you, darling. You've shown yourself to be an excellent diplomat and warrior, not a combination that comes naturally to many. My citizens would like their items back, of course. One of my guards will deal with the items for you, and you will be provided with a suitable reward. Finally, I have a letter that I would like you to give Vargas. This war was a mistake, and I've made a formal apology. I'll make sure to give it to him, Your Majesty. Thank you for all your help, darling. To show her gratitude, the woodcutters and other workers of Etcetera have pledged to add the proportion of what they produce to your treasury. Now that you've finished giving these items back, please give my letter to Vargas. Alright. I return to the king to finish the quest here. So, oh, we got 20k as well. Look at that. And the letter should be... Hold on. Let's examine the letter. I want to read it, but the queen's letter to the king, so I will not. I will see you in a bit, where we will finish the quest by talking to King Vargas. Okay, I'm back here. See King Vargas and finish the quest. Look at this freaking luck though, dude. Some idiot just dropped all their coins and left it for me. It's pretty lucky, huh? I totally didn't grab it from the bank there. How are your investigations going, darling? I found the people who took the goods from your citizens. Those Etcetrian soldiers? They weren't Etcetrian soldiers after all. They were teenagers from Relica who were trying to prove themselves as adults by starting a war and then bringing about peace. Why didn't they just go through the trials as usual? Unless they're the ones that the council warned me about. Apparently, some of their younguns are impressively useless. Still, I can't believe they'd start a war between Miscellania and Etcetera just to show they were adults. But at least you've found the missing goods. Do you have them with you? I'm afraid not, Your Majesty. There were far too many for me to carry. That's a pity. We'll have to send people down to collect them later, then. Oh, and I also spoke to Queen Sigrid of Etcetera. She gave me a letter for you, which she said it was a formal apology. Oh, do you have this letter with you? Of course, Your Majesty. Here you are. Let me see. You defeated a sea snake? Sigrid seems rather impressed with that. And the caverns underneath her palace are joined to ours, I see? She thinks we should join forces to develop them for more houses? Finally, That's not what I'd have expected from Sigrid. What is it, Your Majesty? She, says if I weren't a Yeti, she might want to get to know me better. Since we're both warmongering fools, she'd think we'd get along well. I suppose she has a point there. Brand's suggestion worked, and I didn't even do anything. What was that? Nothing, Your Majesty. Do you want me to give a reply to Queen Sigrid? No, no. I'll think about it for a while. Though I'd like to tell her I'm sorry for calling her a word-mongering harpy. In the meantime, darling, you have managed to avert a war and bring the culprits to light. The kingdom of Miscellania will have to reward you for this. I hear that the Etcetrians are also grateful for your help and have pledged some of their resources. You can talk to Grimm to deal with those, just as before. Alright! You've completed Royal Trouble. Our reward is 1 quest point, 5,000 XP in Agility, Slayer, and hit points, 20,000 coins, and increased Miscellania resources. Very cool. Well, that'll probably do it for this quest here. Thanks for joining me for Royal Trouble. I hope to see you guys next time. I'll probably do something really cool, I'm sure. See ya.